Okay, good morning, good morning. Couple things that I want to review with you. I'm going to try to keep this database talk super simple because oftentimes this is something that Ben Kinney used to say. Ben Kinney's the #1 agent at Keller Williams. And what he would say is many times we try to overcomplicate something as a justification for inaction. You think that's ever happened to anybody before? Where sometimes we try to over organize it, or we try to add too many details, or too much stuff, and it really gets in the way of us doing the thing in the first place. Have y'all ever experienced that before?
Yep.
Okay.
Plan the plan. Keep planning the plan.
Yeah. I love that. I've never heard it said like that before. I like that. Plan the plan, right? When are we gonna do the plan, right? So oftentimes, and I see this a lot with the database, it's like, okay, we're going to split the database into people that like Auburn. And then you have one person that likes Auburn in your database, and you're like, what's the point of this, right? So I'm going to encourage you to keep it real simple. And I'm going to walk you through a couple of different segments to the database that I would recommend. And then I'm going to give you a couple of initiatives that you could consider in your communication with all of these people in their segmented ways. Okay. So let's do just a tiny summary of the database itself. I want to encourage everybody that up until this moment, this is kind of the theory behind it. Okay. Up until this moment, you have and I'm giving you all the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Let me just double check to make sure all of you guys deserve the benefit of the doubt. Yes. Everyone on the call deserves the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Up until this moment, you have you're a nice person, you're fun to be around, you're a professional, you're a person of integrity, you're caring, you want to help others, right? And you've had some success in the arenas that you have worked within, right? And so all of these people that you've been into relationship with, they know that if you take on a real estate business, you're going to take it seriously, right? That's the reputation that you developed, right? You're going to take it seriously, and you're going to learn what you need to learn, and you're going to protect those that you get an opportunity to work with, and you're genuinely going to be committed to learning and helping others. Okay. So when you tell the world that you're a real estate agent, they're naturally going to say, oh, I wonder how I can help her, or I wonder how I can help him. Okay. So the first piece of a database is I want you to put together every single person that you would like to have an ongoing conversation with. Okay. These are not people that want to buy today or sell today. These are just all the people that you're in relationship with. So I'm going to give you a couple places you should check to make sure that all these people are in the database in the first place. Okay. The first is your social media profiles. Okay. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, scan the list. There's probably people that you haven't spoken to in a number of years. I get that. Put them in there anyway. Okay. If you don't, how do I want to say this? If you don't like the person, if it doesn't make you feel good when you're spending time with them, then I'm not going to encourage you to build a client-based relationship with them, right? But if you like them, if you like their energy, if you have fun when you're with them, and you genuinely want to see them build wealth through real estate, put them in the database. Okay. So all your social media platforms. Next place I would tell you to go is your cell phone. Scan through your cell phone. The Uber driver from New Orleans spring break 12 years ago probably doesn't need to be in your in your database. But if you have a relationship with old, coworkers or schoolmates or any of that kind of stuff, they should be in your database. Okay. And I would look for other places like your, church directory or neighborhood directory, any of these kind of things that has the data that you might be interested in putting into your database, that those people should be in there too. Okay. That conversation will move on to the next step. The next step is we got to create a system around how we're going to communicate with the database. Okay. So first I'm going to walk you through segmenting it. And tomorrow, Candace is running a program on the 36 touch. So we've done a bunch of these before, and those videos are all available on YouTube. But Candace is going to walk you through how to organize it on command, and kind of what the structure, what the breakdown is, right? We're going to do this number of calls. We're going to have this number of client events. We're going to have, texting at this time of the month, and calling and emailing at that time of the month. It's going to be all organized and mostly automated. Okay. Let's talk about the segments of the database. Okay. One more thing first. The size of the database. What we've recommended is that for every unit that you want to sell, for every home that you want to sell, you should have 16 people in the database. These are met people. These are people, not the person that's like in your farm. These are people that you have permission to have a two-way relationship with. 16 times the number of units is how large your database should be. If that is not the size of your database, it's going to be very challenging to sell that number of homes. One of your primary jobs is going to need to be meeting strangers, developing relationships with them, and adding them into your database. Okay, so that might be the first kind of gut check, right? If you want to sell 20 homes and you've got a database of 60 people, you're probably going to need to grow the database. Make sense? All right, here's some segments that I'm going to recommend that you use when you're segmenting your database. The first one is the database that I just described, 16 times 1, that's METs. Okay, a MET is, again, somebody that you have a two-way relationship with. Okay, that should be 16 times the number of units. You might also have some people in your database that I would call not METs. And a good example of a not MET would be maybe somebody who lives in Martin's Landing, if your farm is Martin's Landing, right? Or somebody who maybe clicked on a Facebook ad of yours, but you've never connected before, right? So you've only had a one-way experience with them. Those should be not met. Those are, just think of those as kind of bonus. Let's not involve them in the 16 to 1 calculation, but they should be identified as somebody that you have not met yet, or that you don't have a two-way relationship with. So the database has mets and not mets. Okay, next category. Many of us are from different areas, so I'm going to recommend that you have a tag or a hashtag or whatever that says out of Atlanta or out of area. Okay, so if you have 50 friends from college in St. Louis, then just tag them out of area or out of Atlanta. Okay, a good example of and here's why. Those people don't particularly care what the metro stats are, right? They care about what their metro stats are. And that way they can get a program like the Neighborhood Nurture, which they can monitor, what's going on in whatever community they live in, whatever communities they're curious about. Okay, so out of area, and a good marketing message for them periodically might be, hey, even though you're there and I'm here, I still have access to real estate agents in your area. And before you go and, find a random agent online, if you ever have a question about anything, I'd like for you to call me and I'll help you get the answer. Right? We don't want to be the person they call. I mean, yes, we do want to be the person they call when they want to buy or sell something, but we also want to be the person that they call when they want a plumber, right? Or when they want to know the value of their home, or they need to fight the taxes or whatever, right? So out of area, and a good message to them periodically, again, is I can help you with your referral needs, or I can help connect you with a real estate agent in whatever area you are at any time with no extra fee. Okay. I personally grew my business in large part by working with renters. So I encourage you, if that's your world and you have a lot of people in your world that do not own a home right now, then I would segment those or identify those that do not own a home. Okay, just call them renters. And these are people who should be getting messages about record low interest rates and the FHA change, which says that the student loan calculation is calculated differently now, right? They might love a one-on-one interview with Kathy about how she just helped a first-time home buyer who never thought they'd be able to buy a home, right? It's stories that are a little bit more relevant to somebody who is not a homeowner yet. A good message for them might be, hey, the average net worth of a homeowner is this, the average net worth of a renter is this. Got any questions? Let's talk. Make sense? Okay, I also think a category for past clients is important. Okay. When you have gotten the honor of getting paid to help an individual or a family make a move, that's a certain level of kind of VIP-ness, if you will, right? Particularly people that are just getting started. I mean, those are like your heroes. Like, roll out the red carpet for them, right? If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be where you are today. You got to love on them. Okay, so past clients might be a group of people, for example, that you say, hey, I got an extra pair of tickets to the Braves game. Who wants them? Right? Or, you know, hey, we're having a movie night and I figured I might invite you since you don't, you know, maybe you're new to town or something like that. Make sense? Okay, these are your VIPs. You know, if you only have a couple of them, maybe you take them to coffee once a month and just say hi. Check in on how they're adjusting to the area. Make sure that, hey, you need an orthodontist? Cool, I can help you with that. Got nothing to do with real estate, but I'm here to help you. I'm a concierge. Just think of me as that. Okay. Okay, I got two more, and then we'll have a little conversation around it. The next one is the pipeline. Okay, so we're identifying those that would like to, or you expect to transact in the next 12 months. And you expect that because they have voiced that to you, right? You know, their lease is expiring, or you know, their kid's graduating, or you know, they're getting a divorce, or you know, they're getting married, or you know, they're having a kid, or you know, that the job transfer is happening, or something like that, right? You've asked them, or they've voiced an interest, and you've had a dialogue around that. And then you've said something to the effect of, and when are you hoping to accomplish that goal by? And they say next February, and you say, ding, ding, that's a pipeline. Make sense? So at any time you can sort and identify how many people do you have in your pipeline. Okay, just a quick stat on that. Remember that we say 3 times the number of people on your that you want to sell. So if you want to sell 20 units, you should have 60 people in your pipeline at all times. Okay, now the pipeline is think of it as a living document. Okay, that's going to change every day if you're doing your job. There's going to be people that move onto your pipeline, people that move off of your pipeline, people that close, people that ghost you. There's going to be people that want to buy in January and all of a sudden want to buy in September. There's going to be people that want to buy in September and all of a sudden it's the following September, right? It's a constantly evolving document. You're going to be changing that stuff a lot. Okay. Okay, one quick note on that. That brings up another topic which has actually popped up quite a bit, and actually particularly in the last week on a lot of my one-on-ones, which is, I'm going to make a recommendation to everyone, which is you guys need to have some wrap-up time. Okay, at the end of your workday, I'm going to recommend that you take, I don't know, maybe let's say 10 minutes. You'll have to see how long this takes, but 10 minutes to kind of clear your head of all the scratch sheet of papers that you've written on throughout the day, right? You've recorded things where they need to be recorded, like in your database, you've updated your notes. If somebody's email changed, you updated that, right? So you're basically closing the book on the day, right? So if you made a promise to somebody, hey, I'll email you that, or hey, I'll text you that, you finished that. And then when you're done for the day, all the loose ends have been tied. Everything's been added to the database. They've been put on the appropriate tag. They've been put on the appropriate smart plan eventually. All that kind of stuff is done, and you have finished your workday. And you've recorded the results of your workday. When you do that, I can't express to you how much kind of calm and peace there is within your mind because you are controlling your business. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like you spend the majority, and at the end of the day, you step into the CEO role and say, hey, is this business as organized as it needs to be? What kind of chaos did my worker create today? And before we shut the building down, we got to clear the chaos. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if you do not have 3 times the number of people that you want to close in your pipeline, you're unlikely going to close that number of people. So if you have a goal to close 20 and you got 30 in your pipeline, most likely you're not going to close 20. Okay. So that's why when we ask you to do the reporting, we're giving you the things that matter most, right? How many people are we adding to the database each day, and how many, or each week, and how many people are we adding to the pipeline? If you were to focus simply on that and create a standard for your business, right? Let's say the standard for my business is I add 2 people to my database a day, and I add 1 person to my pipeline a day. And whether I got to call 5 people or 105 people, it doesn't make a difference, because that's my standard, right? So even if you're part-time or whatever it is, and you say, yeah, that's too much, okay, give me 1 then, right? Can you add 1 person to your database every day, right? If you're dual career, that does imply you work 2 careers. Make sense? Okay, the next thing this is the last tag that came to my mind, and obviously I want to get some feedback from you guys too, is the DTD2 system. And the reason I say that is, let's say you can go in and say, hey, everyone that's got a last name that ends in A, I tag them with A. Everyone has a last name that ends in B, you tag them with B. And then when you go to sort, so you know who you're calling that week, you can sort the A's and the W's, and they appear in a list. That just simplifies your call list. Okay, give me a little feedback. What have you guys heard today?
I mean, the organization of the context in the database is kind of just obvious, something I just started doing yesterday after talking with Leanza. So it's going to obviously help me with my drip campaigns and my mail campaigns. So
right,
that was definitely helpful, and kind of an aha moment for me, instead of trying to figure out which one's which by having specific categories, by neighborhood, by stage, buyer, seller, etc. Obviously, it's just going to make it a whole lot easier to organize them and set it up by tags.
Well, that's actually something slightly different, just so we're clear.
Oh, okay.
Is all the stages and phases and all that, that's transaction management. So do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so just for everyone's benefit, everything that I've talked about today is basically how to categorize the database entries. Okay, but once we create an opportunity with one of those people, then we can also customize the phases and the stages of that transaction. So it goes from like appointment held to listing signed to under contract to inspection and all. You can drag it through the command system, through the contract management system or transaction management system, to know where everyone is on a particular phase. And based on probability statistics and forecasting, you can say, hey, it looks like I got enough in my pipeline to make 20 grand that month and 30 grand that month, and oh my gosh, I don't have any money coming in that month. And it kind of gives you a clarity on what you need to press hard on. That makes sense? Okay, the other thing that just came to my mind is, if there is certain things that you really like to do, then I might look out for that kind of stuff. So for example, let's say you're a big baseball guy. Okay, so if you know that people in your database are particular baseball guys, you might want to indicate that. So because that's kind of one of your like hobbies, and you might want to invite those people to experience it with you, right? Makes sense. Now the other piece, which hopefully goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, is the purpose of the database is to contain the data. So the purpose of every telephone call should be to update the data or get more data, right? So every single call you have with somebody, there should be something that you're learning from them about their goals, or how they have fun, or something about their family, or something about their hobbies, or something about their work, right? And get it in there so that next time you call them, it's there. And if they say, hey, my daughter just went off to summer camp for the first time, sleepaway camp or whatever, right? And then when you call them in 4 months, you say, hey, how'd she enjoy sleepaway camp? And they're like, oh my gosh, she was listening to me. See what I'm saying? Oh, my daughter just started Georgia Tech. Awesome. How's she enjoying Georgia Tech? How are you adjusting without her in the house? What is she studying? What's her favorite class? You see what I'm saying? If you don't record that stuff, then every conversation is going to sound exactly the same. And by the way, it's not particularly personalized. Right. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for sharing that. Who else has a thought or a comment? Come on.
Hey, Bill, I'll share.
Thank you. I can always rely on you.
I think it's just making us realize that we don't really have to go out and meet new people to build our database. Like, just take advantage of what we have in front of us to organize it. And, you know, pretty much work our database we have in front of us.
My only caveat to that is assuming it's the appropriate size.
Right.
Right. So whenever I meet with somebody, I'm generally trying to identify, is your biggest priority growth of your database or growth in the depth of your database? Meaning, are we trying to get more relationships or are we trying to go deeper with those that we have? Eventually, we'll get deeper with everybody. But the first question is the priority growing it or the priority deepening it? For example, if you're new to town and you know 12 people, your priority is growing it. Right. If you want to sell 10 homes and you got a database of 200 people, your priority is deepening it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. Michael, what were you going to say?
I was just overall kind of 30,000 feet. Just, you know, just the organization of it all, you know, the importance of being mindful of just, you know, just categorizing, organizing, and maintaining just the importance of that. It's really kind of what I'm getting today.
Good. Can I put you on the spot for a second?
All right.
Okay, so what action step based on what you've learned today or has been clarified, let's say, for you today, what is the action step that you're going to take with your database today?
Well, actually, I was thinking, I like the idea of adding the categorizing people by the, you know, the letter. So I might actually spend some time, and granted, it's hundreds, but you know, I mean, every person takes maybe 10,
Thank God
15
it's hundreds,
seconds.
right?
Excuse me?
I said, thank God it's hundreds, right?
Yeah, right. But you know, actually, I like the idea of just going in and you know, adding that and a few other little tags to my database and going through them and improving that aspect of it. So
That's right.
I was going to work on today actually, and over the weekend.
You know, I thank you for sharing. I think you know, I've heard a story, you know, the database is your business, really. I mean, there's really nothing more important than this.
Yeah.
Because let's say, you know, when let's say a dentist office sells, what are they selling? Right? A lot of times they're renting the space. They might even be renting the chairs and stuff. Right? So what are they selling? They're selling
the people they help.
That's right. They're
customers.
selling. Exactly. So you walk into the office and you see all those colorful, you know, files on the wall. That's what they're selling. They're selling all those deep relationships. So if you were to ever sell your business, what would it be worth? Right? It's going to be worth the sales that business spits out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the quality of those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you were to sell your business to the numbers, right? How many, what's the revenue? What's the profit? How do you organize all this stuff? And then show me how many relationships you've developed over time. You say, well, my database is a little bit over there and a little bit over there, and it's not really segmented in any way. And there's probably people I haven't spoken to in 6 years. And you know, I never really bothered to track my money. It just kind of comes in. I'd be like, I'm not interested in buying that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So the degree to which you commit to making your database tight is probably the degree to which you have a successful business, quite frankly. Okay. And by the way, guys, everyone's database started with 1. So again, like I remember exactly the day that I decided to start a database. And I had a bunch of scratch sheets of paper and had a couple files and I had a bunch of index cards. And I just said, look, every single person that I see making money's got a database. So there must be something to this. Right. So I guess I'll just do it. And I couldn't do it in an hour. I couldn't do it in a day. It was a commitment. It was a process. Right. So I went through 5 postcard, index cards one day and I threw those away. And then I went and got 5 more and I threw those away and it became more organized and more large every day.
Was
Okay.
it a Rolodex?
I'm not that old, Michael. I mean, in some ways it kind of was. We used to have fax machines. You guys remember what those are?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
This
Somebody
printer
else tell
behind me
me.
still does it. Actually, I can plug it in and have it receive and send faxes.
Yeah. All right. Somebody else give me an aha. Anyone, by the way, has anyone segmented their database in a way that I did not describe and see, great results from that? Any other ideas that I might have not thought through?
I had neighborhoods for the people that are in town.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's potential. I would say that the only reason to tag them that way is if it's for kind of bulk purposes. Like I'm going to send all the people that live in Virginia Highlands a particular message.
Well, yeah, I
Or-
mean it's neighborhoods that are near to my house and a neighborhood that I used to live in where I still have a lot of friends. So it's not every person, every neighborhood. That's not.
Okay, yeah, I think that's totally fine. Totally fine. Right, that might be hey, I've got an open house, a mile from you. You want to swing by and say hi? I'll be in your area.
Mhm.
And you can send it specifically to that group.
Yeah.
I have also a tag that like a family tag or family and close friends tag, because
I like that.
showed us a smart plan that's already set up that he did for family, just to send out, or like really close friend, like to send out once a month, just saying, hey, remember me? I'm still in real estate. You still don't forget, talk to me, da 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 da. But just to keep reminding your family, even, without, not putting on a smart plan, so to speak, but like that constant reminder. So I have started tagging family because a lot of them don't live here.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good idea. I probably should have had that on there. Thank you. Can I pick apart one thing you just said?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the way you said it or it just came out that way, but you said something like, I'm still in real estate.
Well, I can't remember what it said. Like just, it was it's in there. I don't remember what the letter says, but
Okay.
I didn't write it. I
be
got
careful with
it
that.
tweeted, actually, but Sam wrote it, and but that's what it was. It's a plan that's in there, and it's like,
Well, I'll have a conversation with Sam.
I don't know that it says still in real estate, but just reminding you that,
I would share, I don't, this isn't personal, but I would say, when somebody says I'm still in real estate, it creates this doubt that like you don't deserve to be in real estate, or like it's surprising that you're being successful or something.
Or any
Right.
day now.
Right. I'm still in real estate, but I don't have a closing schedule for next month, and I'll probably have to go pick up a job. Right. You want to always be sharing things that are positive stories, right? So share a case study about how you were working with a person who had inquired about a renter and then you helped him purchase, or share a story about a single mom who was able to get out of a particular situation into a better one, or share a story about a family who had maybe a child with a special learning thing and needed to be in a particular school district for it. Share stories of your success, and that tells them that you're still in real estate. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. I think this was just a standard form smart plan that went out once a month, just to like keep reminding your family over and over and over again. Like, don't forget.
Right.
Like once you don't see very, or maybe you only talk to them once a year. I don't know, but
Right. Let me end with one idea, which is you oftentimes need to tell your people how to help you.
Right.
So for example, like if you gave a stack of business cards to your, let's say to your sister, and she's local and she goes around, and anytime she hears somebody say real estate, she's like, oh, my sister Ryan, she's in real estate. Here's her card. Oh, my sister Ryan, she's in real estate. Here's her card. That is almost never going to work. Okay, what needs to happen is she should be taught how to make a connection. And all the experience I have, and Candace, if you want to chime in, I'd be more than happy to hear your thoughts, or anyone. Here's the way I find it to be most successful. You say to the person that's referring, say, listen, the way that I've found it's the best benefit to your friend is to connect us via three-way communication. So a three-way email or a three-way text. So it might sound like this. Hey, Michael, my neighbor Ryan is looking to sell their home. Ryan and her family are moving to Charlotte for a job transfer. They have 2 little kids and they're so much fun, right? Ryan, Michael is my favorite realtor in town. He is thorough, he is caring, and he knows exactly how to help your family get what they want. Let me know if I can help you in any other way. You see what I'm saying? And then Michael now has, and you give contact information for both people. So then Michael has the connection, and he doesn't have to rely on the person handing the card the right way and Ryan remembering it and storing it away. So when she actually wants to be helped, it's available. It's too much if stuff. Something's going to slip through the cracks. I want control over that call. So if I can get the referral source and the referee together, and I'm involved, boom, I'll take over from here. Make sense? I used to have a flooring guy who had a line that he said, listen, don't make any real estate decisions without talking to my friend Bill. Bill will take care of you. I'm serious. Don't make any real estate decisions before you talk to him. Okay. And the person be like, yeah. And he's like, no, I'm serious. There's a lot of ways you could screw this up. Do not do it. Like sometimes you have to be that direct. I know Candace is driving. No, she dropped off. Any other final thoughts, guys?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, I got a little audience. I'm just going to remind you about tomorrow. The plan is to be at the office all day for lead generation, whatever that means to you. We're going to help you do it. We'll have scripts. We will have hopefully some people there, kind of cheering you on. And I'm excited to kind of create a little synergy together and to have some successes that we can all share together. Thank you, guys. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you need me or Candace, let us know. Just so you know, we will both be, as well as the rest of the leadership team, be at a Southeast Regional Leadership Retreat today. So as we encourage you guys to get coaching and to have accountability, we do the exact same thing. So of course, it is a pleasure to be in business with all of you. I'm excited to see some of your great results and hope you guys are enjoying seeing each other's results. Have an awesome day.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Take care.
Bye-bye.